Hello students, good morning. You are most welcome to my video class. My name is Harendra Tiwari from LPM Public School, Gola Bazaar, Gorakhpur. As you know, in the last video, I introduced you to the new chapter, Structure of the Atom. There I have explained the learning content, learning objective of this chapter and introductory part of the structure of the atoms we have completed there. Now the second learning content or learning objective is discovery of electron. So I am going to make you understand how electron has discovered. First of all, I tell you electron. So might you have a query, that's how the electron word came in existence. How this word has been conceptualized in past and who was the first scientist to use the term electron. So when we look in the history, we will find a name of Irish physicist George John Stoney. He was the first person who used the term electron for electrical charge. He used the electron term for electrical charge. Later on, this word we have given to such particles, those are having the negative charge that we call the electron. So in such way the term electron came in existence. George John Stoney, he used the first time for the electrical charge to designate the electrical charge, but later on the electron word we fixed for such types of the particles. Those particles are having the negatively charged, we call the electron. Then at the second point is that cathode rays. The discovery of electron is possible because of the study of the cathode rays and the experiment have done by the different scientists in order to discover the electrons and protons, that we call the cathode rays experiment, or cathode rays discharge tube experiment, In 1869, there was a great German physicist. His name was Julius Plucker. He discovered a rays we call, that is cathode rays, but he was unable to characterize and study in detail about these rays, but credit goes to the discovery of cathode rays to the Julius Plucker. Then in 1876 1876, another German physicist, his name is Eugen Goldstein. He was given the name cathode rays from a German word Cathodenstrahlen. Cathode rays name were derived from a German word Cathodenstrahlen. Their spelling is little different. Cathodenstrahlen. So the first time cathode rays were discovered by German physicist Julius Plucker. The cathode rays name that is derived from Cathodenstrahlen, which is a German word, by Eugen Goldstein. So this is the introductory part. Then in 1897, Mr. J.J. Thomson or Sir J.J. Thomson, he did study about behavior of cathode rays by his experiment cathode rays discharge tube. In 1897, J.J. Thomson, he had studied about the behavior characteristics of cathode rays, and the experiment he performed to study cathode rays we call the cathode rays discharge tube experiment. So through this cathode ray discharge tube experiment, he had concluded that cathode rays are stream of negatively charged particle. Through the observation of his experiment, he had concluded that cathode rays is what? Cathode rays are a stream of negatively charged particles, and he named this negatively charged particle corpuscles. After that, later on, we had given the name to the corpuscles, the electron. Means after his study, he named the corpuscles. Later on, the corpuscles name is replaced by the word electron that we know present time. So you have noted down it. Then I will continue with the cathode rays experiment, what J.J. Thomson had performed and conceptualized. So please note it down. Now, cathode rays experiment had performed by J.J. Thomson in order to study the behavior of cathode rays. Cathode rays experiment. Cathode rays experiment had formed by J.J. Thomson in order to understand the behavior of cathode rays. How he had performed his experiment, that we will understand with the miniature model or diagram of the cathode rays tube. So this is the discharge tube. As we know that discharge tube is made up of the glass tube. It is called the CRT. I am not good in that much in drawing, but I am drawing here. Oh. This is a glass tube. It is fitted with two metal rod or metal plate, we can say that. It is fitted with two metal plate. One metal plate is connected to the negative terminal of battery, another metal plate is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. The metal plate which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, we call them anode, and metal plate which is connected to the negative terminal of battery, we call them cathode. So J.J. Thomson just designed such as I have drawn in this figure an instrument, and he was named that instrument cathode rays tube. Cathode rays tube, and this experiment is called the cathode rays experiment. In short, we call it the CRT. He mounted in the cathode ray tube a suction pump that maintain the internal pressure, that used to maintain the internal pressure. This is we call vacuum pump. The use of work of vacuum pump to maintain the internal pressure. It is used to maintain internal internal pressure. J.J. Thomson took a glass tube and he had evacuated, partially evacuated the glass tube. The evacuation means what? He sucked that air from the inside the tube, and when he sucked the air with the help of vacuum pump from inside the tube, that this tube became evacuated partially, and he maintained inside the pressure is very low. He maintained inside internal pressure very low. Then he used inside a gas that may be hydrogen gas, lighter gas he has taken, hydrogen gas. He had applied high voltage of electricity. When he had applied high voltage of electricity at low pressure, he observed inside the tube a special kind of glow. He observed that a rays that is started from the cathode and moving towards the anode. A rays that is originated from cathode and started moving towards the anode. For proving of his observation, he did one thing more. What he did, he applied a material at the wall of discharge tube. He applied a material at the wall of discharge tube. That material we call the fluorescent zinc sulfide. So what is the meaning of fluorescent? It is a special type of the materials such as zinc sulfide. When any charged particle strike to that material, then that material started to glow. For a real example, you might have observed in the CFL bulb, there are white powder applied inside the glass tube of the CFL. This is a miniature model of CRT tube. This is the one of the example of CRT tube. What is the phenomenon taking place inside that CFL bulb? The same takes place here also. So the concept we were able to design CFL bulb on the basis of this concept only. So he applied a fluorescent material at the wall of discharge tube behind the anode, and he just make some small pores. He made some small pores in the anode plate, and when he applied high voltage at very low pressure, then he observed a greenish glow at behind the anode at the discharge tube that was already having a coating of zinc sulfide, which is a fluorescent material. So this observation proved that the something is coming from cathode and that reaching to the anode. So on the basis of this experiment, he concluded that whatever the particles or rays originated from cathode, that must have negative charge. because cathode is the negatively charged. And since it is moving without any deflection towards the towards the anode, means he concluded that the nature of this ray is negatively charged. That's why it reached towards the anode, because anode, as we know, that positive charged plate. So a ray which is originated from the cathode that reaching to the anode, it indicates that the nature of this ray is the negative charge. After that, he applied a electric field. This is a minus and this is positive plate, electric field, and he observed the ray is coming from cathode, that is get deflected towards the positive plate. It indicates that, or we can conclude clearly from this observation, this ray is negatively charged particles, negative charge. After that, he performed a lot of experiment and proved that these rays is the negatively charged particles, and he called these particles corpuscles, as I told earlier. So once I am going to revise his experiment, what he performed. He had taken a glass tube and he drawn the air, whatever the present inside the glass tube, and made it partially evacuated. Because of that, the internal pressure became low. At very low pressure, when he applied high voltage, he observed a ray is originated from cathodes and moving towards the anode. He proved that the ray, whatever coming from cathode, it has a negatively charged particles. For that, he applied the external electric field and he observed this ray is deflected towards the cathode. Clear? One thing I tell you, how this ray is originated. When we supply the electric current, then electron present in this plate, they get ejected out. The electron present in this plate, they get ejected out. Then these electrons are moving very fine velocities. It has velocity and mass, so it is in acceleration, and as I told you, inside that he had taken the hydrogen gas. So this is the atom of hydrogen. So when this electron is strike with the hydrogen atoms, inside the hydrogen atoms electrons are also present. That electrons get heated by the electrons coming from the cathode rays at high voltage of electric current supply. This electron is come out from the atom, and this electron also started to move along with those electrons which is originated from cathode ray on applying of high voltage at low pressure. So the electrons present in the gas filled inside the atoms, the electrons present in the atoms of the gas which is filled inside the discharge tube, that is ejected out, and that is moving towards the anode. So generally the one question may ask here, question is that what is the origin of cathode rays? So cathode rays was originated from cathode plate as well as the atoms present inside the discharge tube. We must have to take any gas inside the discharge tube. So origin of cathode rays, What is the origin of cathode rays? Cathode rays originated from cathode as well as the atoms of the gases present inside the discharge tube from there. It is also. Is it clear? What is the cathode? The cathode is the positively charged plate, or we can say cathode is an electrode which is connected to the negatively charged plate. What is an anode? Anode is the electrode which is connected to the positively charged plate, and it is a positively charged plate. So what are the conditions of cathode rays experiment? So high voltage, low pressure, it is a condition. Next question, what is the cathode rays tube? What is the cathode rays? Cathode rays is the stream of negatively charged particles. So I had explained the discovery of electrons in this class. So let me conclude that what we have completed here. Just at the starting of the video, I introduced you the term electrons, how came in existence. Then after that, I introduced you that who discovered the cathode rays. Then after the discovery of cathode rays, how the name of cathode rays is generalized or came in existence or conceptualized. Then after the name that is conceptualized by the German word Kathoden Strahlen, then at the last we understand that discovery of electron particles through the cathode rays tube, that is performed by the J.J. Thomson, this experiment, and after the observation whatever he got through his experiment, that made him to conclude that cathode rays are a stream of negatively charged particles. He were named at that time corpuscles. Later on, corpuscles name is replaced by the general terms electrons. That earlier the electron terms was given by John Stoney for the electrical charge. So that's all about today class. At last I tell you, thank you for your patience and cooperation. We will meet in the next class with the new invention, that is the invention of proton. So wish you all the best.